Good morning, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time has been all about similarities between people, especially. And I love this idea. I have been on this page for many, many years now. But it's interesting to me that not often do people think this way. So I came across a few quotations that I'd love to share with you and a bit of a story too. So, first of all, this quotation that I saw first was by an unknown author, actually. And it actually says, "It's time for the human race to start dwelling on their similarities instead of focusing on their differences with one another." Now, isn't that in a nutshell exactly what I'm thinking today? So, of course, it would be, and that's what would come up on my computer. And I really spent some time contemplating this. And again, like I said, this has been on my mind for many years now. But I thought I'd share a story with you that I went through not so long ago. And it was when I was part of a course, and it was a group of practitioners. It was all psychotherapists, all brain related practitioners, so psychologists, psychotherapists. And in this group, it was such a lovely group. It was all about understanding a group process and how this group process happened through our time together. And it was a wonderful experience. And honestly, it was so interesting to me that very early there were people that shared things about themselves that had been part of their experiences. And it's so nice to see healthcare practitioners opening up about the things that they carry, because oftentimes we're listening to what other people are carrying, but not necessarily expressing ourselves. So this was a wonderful way to be learning about each other. And a lot of people had mentioned this is what happened in their life. And there were similarities in the group of, oh, that sort of thing has happened in my life. And then out of the blue, someone noticed, oh, my goodness, the whole group is Caucasian. And I guess that was an awareness that this person came to. And because we were looking at differences that had happened to different people, someone expressed that, wow, has everyone noticed, Tanifa, we should ask you. You're the only person who is different in terms of our group. And, people didn't want to say colored per se, didn't want to guess what kind of background I might have had. And we're kind of opening up the floor to me. And we're actually sympathizing with how I might feel in that experience of, here's a group of Caucasian people and here's me who's not Caucasian. And it was so interesting because it really struck me as strange. And I thought, and I actually expressed to them that I actually look at all of you and think you are me. And I don't feel any different than any of you. And it was so true. I truly did not feel any different than anyone else. And to me, this actually showed me that there has been a lot of work that I've done. It's not that I am not aware of color differences, but I do not think that's what is the same that I notice in people. So when I was paying attention to this group, I was looking at the emotion that they were speaking with or not speaking with. I was looking at what kind of pain or hurt they were carrying, because I can feel that energetically. I was looking at their openness and their confidence or shyness or those sorts of things. And I was so surprised when this question came up, and when I expressed to them that this is how I felt, and just so they knew, they didn't have to feel anything different because I felt very much the same as them. And so I wanted them to know that there was nothing for me to feel different. And I can tell you that that was not received very well. Which sounds funny, right? But it was almost like they thought that I was denying the fact that I was different. And I'm not. I can necessarily, actually, I choose to focus on similarities. And that is a training that I've been doing for my brain. And it was such a wonderful realization afterwards of, wow, I've wanted to see the sameness in people, and I had an experience where I did. Now, what was not easy for me was, it did not seem like the group believed that I wasn't noticing this difference. And it's easy to notice something and not pay attention to it, right? So it's not that I was not aware that there is there is a color difference. at the same time, it just didn't mean anything to me. So imagine if you were in a park and it's a beautiful park, and you go to a different park and there's different trees, and it's another beautiful park, and you're appreciating each one for what it is, even though you recognize that, oh, there are different trees here than there were there. But it's interesting to see if we are training our minds to understand differences, we will point out the differences. If we are, and that often happens on an unconscious level, but if we are consciously training our minds to look at similarities and similarities of good, that is what stands out. And I loved that experience because not only did a nice poem come out of it, which I was able to share with the group the next day, but I can tell you that I was really affected. I felt the energy of uh, not happy in the group, that it felt that here's something being presented to me like, we want to give you a big hug because you're different, and I wanted to give them all a big hug because we're the same. So it's interesting how different people think. So today I would love for you to think about, what are you training your mind in? What do you focus on? What do you notice that is maybe unique and wonderful about yourself, that allows you to accept things around you a little bit more easily? I came across this quotation by Paulo Coelho, which I know I've seen before, but I love it. And it says, "The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion." And I have to say, there was such a sense of satisfaction of, here is my example, and I was living it, and I am living it. And I want to finish this video today by a quote by the Dalai Lama. This quotation says, "Today we face many problems. Some are created essentially by ourselves based on divisions due to ideology, religion, race, economic status, or other factors. Therefore, the time has come for us to think on a deeper level, on the human level. And from that level, we should appreciate and respect the sameness of others as human beings." It's a lot to say, right? So I'm going to read it one more time so you can think about it. Today, we face many problems. Some are created essentially by ourselves based on divisions due to ideology, religion, race, economic status, or other factors. Therefore, the time has come for us to think on a deeper level, on the human level. And from that level, we should appreciate and respect the sameness of others as human beings. And I love that. And I know that when I was speaking with the group, I said, I mean, if you cut me, do I not bleed? And I know that's from, Shakespeare's, if you prick us, do we not bleed? Right? So same idea. This is, I am the same. You are the same. There is so much same in us. And if we are caught up in looking at these differences, which society has been forever, right? Then are we being the change we want to see in the world around us, right? Is it our example that we're setting that we actually are trying to strive towards? I hope today you'll spend 5 minutes thinking about that and see whether you're contributing to what you would like to see around you, and whether you can see the similarities with the people, whether at your workplace, in your home, in your family, or just in society in general. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.